say to us what you intended to find out about when you raised your hand and wanted to come up here. What is the essence of what you're looking for?
The essence of what I'm looking for is, well, being intentional by getting up here, because what I wanted when I came here was to be up here with you. So I was in action about that. Like, I'm going to get up and be intentional about that. If that's what I want, do that. Because I've been living suppressed.
Why?
Because I feel like I want to not live in the experience of being suppressed.
So I want demonstration of my power. I want demonstration of my appropriateness. I want demonstration. I want the universe to yield to me what I've come to get.
Correct.
That's accurate.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
And so even though you had a fair amount, a substantial amount, a whole bunch of resistance.
I had a bunch. I wasn't going to come up.
Within your vibration, your desire was dominant enough that the path of least resistance allowed you this experience. You getting what we're talking about? The path of least resistance got him into the chair. Now, it wasn't exactly smooth sailing.
I thought about it a lot.
Because we tormented you
Yeah.
by pointing out pockets of resistance that you had going on. But what we want you to feel from this is that it's always working out for you. It just could be so much easier.
Right.
And even though your determination was strong, you raised your hand, we felt you clearly, we knew that the vibration of your desire was strong enough that you could withstand these beginning conversations that we wanted everybody to be in on. We saw it as co-creating at its best because you help us to say the things that we're wanting to say to all of you. But the most significant thing that we want to come out of this gathering is that you demonstrated getting something you want in a way that was a rougher ride than it needed to be.
Okay.
And that if you, and this is the thing that by the end of the day, we believe that you will be able to hear clearly. The action part of your life, as it unfolds, the words you say and hear, the people you rendezvous with, the experiences that you have, are about the vibrational frequency you had going on before you went there and did that. Much more than they are about what you're doing after you get there. In other words, you really didn't stand a chance with us because your vibration was already where it was, and there was an inevitable unfolding that was going to take place, and there wasn't anything that you were going to do in the moment that was going to change it that much. It's what you're doing in a pre-paving sense. It's how much you're meditating. It's how much you're basking. It's how much deep breathing you're doing. It's how much appreciating of life you're doing. It's how many walks you're taking. It's how often you're petting your cat. It's how much you're practicing the vibration of well-being. It's all that stuff that you're doing before you're engaging that is responsible for what happens after you engage, because you cannot control your thoughts outside the vibrational momentum that you've got going. You see what we're getting at? And so often you try to control it with guardedness or with words or with action instead of having practiced a vibration that just puts you in the place that you are the receiver of it. Esther and Barbara and Mark left the gathering last week from Orlando. They flew in on Friday. The seminar was on Saturday morning, and shortly after, they were on their way to the airport. And so they were all flying high, still riding the current of what had happened in the gathering. And Esther, as she explains to people after a seminar, she always says, I feel obnoxious, in the sense that she feels all-powerful. And so they arrived at the airport and came to face the largest mass of humanity that they had seen in an airport. The security line was so long and so big, hard to even take it all in. There was so much, and they were not in a big hurry, but it looked like a daunting experience that they were going to make their way through. And they were playful with each other and having a good time. And Esther said lightly, someone needs to show us where the priority lane is, because it wasn't obvious. And the words were out of her mouth, and a person suddenly appeared before her. It really was as if he dropped from the ceiling.
Yeah.
And he said to them, "Are you crew?" And Esther thought it was funny because there was nothing crew-looking about any of them. She said, "No, we're just looking for the priority lane." And he said, "It's down there. It's down there. You can't see it from here, but it's the last one, way down on the end." And she thought that was really fun. Ask and it's given. In other words, ask and it's given now, not a second later, now. He did. He just appeared like a... And so they're laughing, and Mark said something like, "You sort of kind of had to be there for that." In other words, you all have those experiences, but when you have an experience like that, knowing what you know, then it's sort of that feeling of invincibility, that feeling of it always working out, that feeling of path of least resistance is just really active within you. So now they're standing in the priority line, and even the priority line was extremely long. And there was a man standing in the line behind them, and he was having a sort of silent nervous breakdown. And Barbara said to him, "Are you in a hurry?" And he gasped the words, "Yes!" And Barbara said, "Well, why don't you go ahead of us? We're not in a hurry." And which gained him almost nothing. But he moved ahead of them, and the three of them are standing there smiling. And then Esther said to Barbara, "Have you been working on this global clearance that we're talking about?" And Barbara said, "Yes, I have all the information. I'm ready to move forward on it." And Esther said, "I think we're ready to do that now." Another man appeared, we're not kidding, in just that much time, and said, "Have you heard about clear?" And Esther said, "Is it like the global thing that we're talking about?" And he said, "It's similar." He said, "If you'd like to come with me, it will take about 5 minutes, and I can get you through this line." And they said, "All right." And so he just moved ropes and took them, and moved ropes and took them. They moved through thousands of people, just walked down here and walked down here and walked down here and went to a kiosk and put some things in, and he led them right to the conveyor belt where they put their things through. And they looked at each other, not in surprise and not in amazement, but in satisfaction at how fast the universe is yielding. These things are seen as coincidence to people when they happen, even though they happen to you all the time. They are not coincidental. Esther is watching her favorite football team, and she says, in a family setting, "We could really use an interception right now." Boom! We're just saying.
No.
You are powerful creators. You have the universe at your back. You get whatever you desire as long as you are in vibrational sync with what you desire. You cannot be writhing in the absence of it and asking for it and get it. You have to be basking in the presence of it, in the expectation of it, in the knowing of it, you see. And after a while, you are not so concerned about the details of how the universe is yielding to you, because your long list of unfulfilled desires just evaporates little by little. And soon you find yourself standing in this knowing that not only will what surrounds you inspire you and interest you and delight you and surprise you and call you and keep you happily living in full life experience, but if this time-space reality has the ability to inspire the desire within you, it has the wherewithal to deliver the full manifestational results. And as those results are unfolding, it is our promise to you that you'll be having a really good time. Enough?
Enough. Thank you.